Every generation will not be confused. There is a generation that will get this thing. From that day, the creative dimension of the prophetic. Years ago, I used to play keyboard for a ministry, one of the ministries that went to preach for Obasanjo when he was in prison. It was my keyboard pastor, small keyboard. I would carry it. The church they came and opened a branch. It was a prison ministry that just started a church service. And I would go to our local assembly, and when I returned, their meeting was afternoon meeting. I would carry my keyboard and trek to a hotel that they were using, my own keyboard. I would trek to the hotel, set it up. You know all the things that happen in church. This one is frowning, this, and I would just mind my business and play and go back. Let me tell you the truth. You may have heard me say it in my teachings. Nobody ever told me thank you. I stand before the God of heaven. I never knew that one day I would have an apostolic call. But there were seeds. There were times that I would be so tired. You know how church sometimes, things can happen when you are doing your best and it looks like it's not. The only thing I remember was during one time they were launching the Man of God's cassette, and I got one cassette and one bottle of Fanta. One cassette free, I didn't pay for, and then one bottle of Fanta. That's the only thing I can remember getting. But I made up my mind that, Lord, if it is for your glory. I didn't know that heaven was recording it. Farmer, keep sowing. Keep sowing. Keep sowing. Keep sowing. There is nobody who comes out of nowhere. Please bury that demonic mindset once and for all. Just because you don't know where they came out from does not mean they did not come. Look, let me tell you, there are laws. God cannot be mocked. God cannot trust you with the destinies of men. You can deceive men, but there are laws in the realm of the spirit. There is a strict immigration system. You don't bribe your way into certain realms of influence. You don't bribe your way into certain levels of honor, notoriety, and grace. There is a track record that God himself vets. So when you see your pastor today and what God is doing in his life, you see, when you see masters operate, the proof of mastery is ease. Usually the steps are beyond plain sight. People have so worked their system, they have mastered how it works. So you will be mistaken to think just because it's easy for them, it is easy. It is easy for masters, but not easy. Hallelujah. If I begin to tell you some of the things that we did spiritual, oh dear, this is not the night to discuss this, but let me just tell you the truth. If you sow to the flesh, you will reap of the flesh corruption. Apostle, but people have annoyed me. This is the year I said, me, I will not keep quiet. That's why God sent you here tonight. You have done well to sow nice seeds. You want the devil to deceive you now, to cancel everything, because you want to be yourself. The Bible does not tell us to be ourselves. It tells us to be like Christ. It's a risk being yourself. You better find out what is in yourself before you want to be it. It says we should be like Christ. Paul said, in this flesh there is nothing that is good within this flesh. He marked himself, and this was his assessment. I hope you understand the concepts of be yourself I'm not saying don't find expression. I just mean that the man of the flesh without the assistance of the spirit. I look back today and I thank God for the times of prayer with no reward. There was a time in my life, you would not believe this, where I would buy bread and put granite. You know how you put granite? Don't act like you don't know what I'm saying. Bread and put granite. Are we together? Yeah. With ginger. I think it's a healthy meal. No wonder we are still standing. You are the one that we praise. You are the one we adore. You give the healing and grace that our hearts always hunger for. Hearts always hunger for. When we started ministry, sir, I remember the first crusade that we went for. We were going there by faith, just because God said to. While the crusade was going on, you know what it means to preach in a miracle service with bills waiting for you? The people you are owing are there while you are shouting Jesus the same yesterday, today, and forever. And to make matters worse, the sick now genuinely get healed. Who is that God that heals the sick? I remember when that crusade was over and everybody was returning, we didn't have the transport to return people, but it was a mighty meeting. Not so much. I don't think, maybe the entire crusade ground may not be more than the people who were seated here, but it was with honor and joy. What is there to be ashamed of? We were starting and with nobility. Yet that little thing would be a global ministry that will bless people. Who has laughed at you? Who has looked at you and despised your little beginning, and you are about to join them to kill that little beginning, not knowing that the whole world one day will rejoice at the investment of God's hand upon you? Let me tell you the truth, the pressure that I went through after that crusade, it would take a madman to do another one. And as soon as we went back, I didn't even rest. God said to do another one again by the next year. I said, God, what is this?